moment made you realize that Brazilian jiu-jitsu was your life's passion, that this was your way forward, that you said, this is it?
Well, my first approach to jiu-jitsu was mainly for the martial art itself and for activity. And I've always been a very competitive person naturally. Okay.
Yeah.
I like to say that naturally because everyone is different, right? In the first thing, I believe for you to achieve success, it doesn't matter what you do. You need to understand yourself, you need to accept yourself and go around that. So I was competitive. So the competition itself was the kind of the lights in the end of the tunnel. That's what I was chasing, and but at the same time, living in Brazil is not easy. Let's say, like Brazil is like living in Brazil, coming from an average family, is like you're killing a lion every day to survive.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it's so you to be able to kill less lions every month to survive, you got to study. And then you have to have your degree, you have to have your career. And so jiu-jitsu has always been something that I love to do, that I identified myself because I've always wanted to be an athlete. But at the same time, I was doing my schools, my universities on the sideline, but not because I loved it, what I was doing, but because there was no other option. You gotta have a degree to be able to kill less lions.
Yeah.
So, and then I've always wanted to be an athlete, regardless what was going to be the money reward. I love the idea of being an athlete. I love the idea to look after your body. I love the idea to exercise, to look healthy, and to be active, and I loved at the time the idea of being a champion. That's what I wanted to be, right? Maybe I wasn't the most popular kids, and maybe I mean, I've always been very friendly, have many friends. I still have friends from my primary school,
Yeah.
but not necessarily with the girls. And I wanted to get something out of that because I felt like I didn't have money growing up like available. So what's going to be the attraction to be able to belong on a group or to do things or maybe have a girlfriend if you just an average and you cannot afford anything? I mean, I need to be good at something that I can call the attention. Yeah. And then I wanted to be a tried football. It didn't work. And then I started doing jiu-jitsu. But the passion, the passion was always there. From the start, I became very intrigued by jiu-jitsu by the fact that it was new at the time that it started. Even though I'm Brazilian, even though Brazilian jiu-jitsu was originated, I mean, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu that we train and compete today was originated by Carlos Gracies Sr., right, in Amazon and going to Rio. My state, there was not even a black belt when I started training. There was no access. The closest black belt that I could train with was about 2 hours and 45 minutes away by airplane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You go across the Amazon, as it were.
Exactly. So I'm from Recife, the northeast of Brazil, which is like one of the poorest area in comparison to the average of Brazil, where the big, the corporations is in São Paulo, Rio, the TV, like the people on the TV, they talk different than how we speak at the time when I was there. Now it's a little bit more diverse. So there was its challenge. So I never thought that I could actually live out of jiu-jitsu. I was doing more because I wanted to do something special and at the same process, feeling special. With tries and errors, and I start to recognize that maybe the course that I was studying, which was production engineering, wasn't exactly what I would like to live out of. And with the development as an adult, like from 18 to the 22, by traveling around in competitions of jiu-jitsu, I started to recognize that people from outside of Brazil, they appreciate what we had that not necessarily the Brazilians had.
Oh, your camera halted, Braulio. Can you still hear me? What happened there? Connection.
I can train every day. I can compete. I can test myself against the best in the world and be able to make a living out of that. That was like great, so that's when appeared the opportunity. In 2002, when I came here, I already had that on the back of the mind. I was already a brown belt.
Yeah.
But I wasn't certain yet that would be it. When I decided to come here to UK, I came here in November, end of November, to stay until beginning of February, where my term would restart in production engineering. So I went on holidays because our summer holidays is December and January.
Yeah.
Right. So when I left, I talked to the director of the school, I had a very good relationship. I had a half scholarship on the university because of the jiu-jitsu already, because I was competing, but not in a professional way, but I was competing, and he always loved to support sports.
Wow.
So I told him, I said, hey, Junior, look, I'm going to London to see what's out there. But then I'm not sure what I'm going to see. I'm going to hope that's going to be something that I will like to see in order to pursue my dream. But if things doesn't work out, I will come back. But that is if I feel that there is something out there. Is it okay if I pause my course for 6 months, and just in case to give it a try, because 2 months, not sure how much I'm going to be able to feel.
Yeah.
Right. So can I maybe stay until, can I freeze my scholarship for 6 months and I come back on the term that would be in August? And then he says, no problem. So I came with the idea of experiment and try what is out there. Is it possible? Am I right? I know I'm competing, I'm doing well in the competition, but I never had the opportunity to dedicate myself fully to the jiu-jitsu until then, because I was studying in university. My day used to be like that. I wake up at 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning, breakfast, and go to the university to work, not study, to work as a support of the IT for schools, for the school. So I was just there like as a work placement.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. So I used to work from 7:30 until 12:30 in the afternoon. And then I would come back home. I would have my dinner, my lunch. And then I would rest a little bit. You understand why we rest a little bit in a bit. And then I would do my revision for the university. Yeah. And I used to go train from 4:30 until 6:30. So I used to train 1.5 hours, 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then from the academy, I would go straight to the university to study from 7:30 until 10:30 in the night. And then Junior had opened a space in the university that I could teach jiu-jitsu, so I could make some money. And there I had about like 15 students at a time. And I used to teach jiu-jitsu from 10:45, 15 minutes after finish university, until 12:30 in the evening, at midnight 30. Yeah. And I would get home by 1:10. One day I would eat some more thing with my students. I would get home usually by 1 o'clock, like usually 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then I would sleep until 6:45 again, and the day restart. So the routine was very heavy, very hectic, which is a normal in my life, never changed, nothing changed much. But I was curious to see how would I improve in jiu-jitsu if I only did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So that 2 months, I was going to only do jiu-jitsu. I was going to teach jiu-jitsu. I was going to train jiu-jitsu, and I was going to work out for the first time to help jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So I came with that idea. The opportunities were appearing, like the universe was conspiring to happen. And then I dedicated myself for that 2 months. And as a brown belt, I remember I got my brown belt in August 2002, and I competed the Brazilian championships in September, I think, and I got third. And came November, that was the opportunity for to come to London. And then I ended up in Birmingham with a lot of coincidences, and where I stay at until now. And that November until January, I was only training jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu, 24, not 24/7, but seven days a week. And then I went to compete the Panams as a brown belt.
Yeah.
And that was a big change. Because when I competed at Panams, I managed to fight had 7 fights, and I submitted everyone on the weight division and the absolute division, and all fights combined was 5 minutes and 24 seconds. So it was an average of 47, something like that, per fight. So then I go, all right. Then I start feeling that this is what I want, and I can. Really, because I was a brown belt, I wasn't a black belt yet.
Oh, no,
so
no, but then you actually saw light at the end of the
journey. The light became very bright.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, it was confirming what I was hoping and I was trying to see. And then when this happened, I said, you know what, that's what I want. You know, and that's on that day when I came back from the Pan American Championships. And that's when I was already committed to say, you know what, I'll be able to live out of jiu-jitsu here, you know, and I'll be able to carry on training, and I will pursue my dream. I would like to be a world champion and a black belt. And this was a big click, and then the rest is history, and as you know. But it came to give it a try, but also being prepared for the worst. Because I was already prepared. If something doesn't work out, I would go back home and I'll carry on doing.
Product design. Insane and very eloquently put. I must say.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Fantastic. It gives great insight, and more than just what it is to compete. You know, you talk about everything around it.
And also, Ben, one thing, right? Today, I'm in a different stage in my life. Right, I've achieved Ben. I achieved way beyond that I've ever dreamed of.
Yeah,
in the sports, you know, that kid coming from Recife, where there was no champions, there was no even a black belt when he started, to become a Hall of Fame of ADCC, is equivalent to a homeless to become a multimillionaire on the spectrum. It's the same. There is the same proportion of difficulties.
Your story reminds me of Oliveira and the favelas and UFC. It's black to white. It's black.
Exactly. And in that shows, because I don't consider myself, I have so many flaws. You know, I'm far from perfection, but I am very lucky that I have this history of success, so I can connect the dots. And I truly believe in whatever you do, whatever you choose, if you really are game to do whatever it takes and spend time into it, you can achieve beyond your dreams. You just need to act. You know, in this life, we can only control what we can do. We cannot control what the environment do, or like in jiu-jitsu, you cannot control what the opponent can do. I can only be prepared for the worst. So I can control what I can do. I can control if I can do something right. I can control if I try to do something wrong, or if I don't do nothing. That's my decision of actions. In every time lapse of your life, you have that opportunity. From every blink in your eye, you are entitled to try to do it right, or not. And that's true. And that's what I believe is the intentions. This is one thing that I've been talking a lot lately with my close friends and people that are around. You know, intentions are a magical thing. It's a sacred thing. Why? Because you will never know the intentions of no one in this world just by seeing the results of whatever action they did. Mm-hmm. And I would never gonna know the intentions, the true intention, the real intentions of any actions that you do. I don't know. but you do.
Yeah, for sure.
And I do know my intentions. Sometimes you do something with the intentions to do right, and sometimes you fuck up.
And
then
even subconsciously, the intentions for sure.
Exactly. And even if the world crucify you, but if you are truthful to your intention, I believe that the universe will conspire, because nobody does everything right all the time, But the difference is doing something right, something bad with bad intentions. That's, you know what I mean? And I believe, like, in jiu-jitsu, we have a saying that Carlos Gracies Sr. said, in jiu-jitsu, you never lose. Either you win or you learn. And then I will add the intention part, because you will learn, but only if you had the intentions
to learn
to win. Or to win.
Yeah. Or
right?
to win. Yeah.
Right? Because if you go to a fight, you are going there to compete yourself, test yourself against someone else's jiu-jitsu. I like to say that as well in the mode, because I have good friends that I competed all my life. Xande Ribeiro, we fought 6 times, and he was in my wedding,
That's brilliant.
We have a good relationship.
That's how it should be. Yeah, that's how it should.
Yeah, how it should be, because it's not nothing personal. A lot of people, I'm gonna fight that guy, or it's gonna be me against him. I see more as your jiu-jitsu versus his jiu-jitsu, and you're gonna put in place whoever wins.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And as you said, the statement of Carlos Senior applies as well, because in essence, it turns into it's you versus how good you are as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the catch. And then everything starts from you anyway. You wake up in the morning, you are the one that's going to wake up and have what am I going to do today? Oh, the world is against me. So it's up to you. You can blame the world, or you can accept where you're at and try to do the right step with the intentions of get out of there.
Yeah.
If you have the intentions of getting out of there and do something about it, you will either get it right and start climbing the ladder, or you're going to make a mistake and learn from it because you had the intention to do it right. And then you will climb the ladder on a second opportunity.
Yeah.
But if you carry on the same way and expect different results, like Einstein used to say, what is insanity, right? Is insanity is you repeating the same thing and expecting different result.
Yeah.
Right? So in the day is acceptance of where you are. Like, and to accept where you are, you need to be honest with yourself. So honesty is very crucial to get out of the bottom. And it's very crucial to you to reach the skies from whatever ladder you end up. If you end up if you start on the ladder, if you start, anything, right? Because it's a crucial thing. Because once you are honest, okay, cool, I'm in this situation, or like, let's say metaphorically on the jiu-jitsu world, okay? Oh man, I wish I started jiu-jitsu a little earlier because I started with 16. Well, can you go back in time? No. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right? Right? You're going to have to do what you got. So you're now here. You clicked, okay, I love this, and I wish I could start earlier. Forget about that. Forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Now, but man, there's not even a black belt around me.
Look, find one. Exactly. Yeah.
Do what you can. Yeah. But if you keep the mindset of blaming the environment, your situation, or blaming others, like, for example, many people do when they lose a competition, that most people, not most people, but there's so many people that has so much talent, and I never seen them going to the place that they could, because the mindset when they lose is like always find an excuse. I lost because my gi was tight. I lost because that was heavy to me. I lost because the referee made a mistake. I lost because this or that. This or that. But, you know what I mean? I didn't sleep well. I was ill. And
No, it's blaming the world for your own mistakes, as they.
You know what I mean? You need to accept, and that acceptance, man. That's it. I'm just talking through my experience, and I try to correlate to different aspects. Okay, I believe that is a common denominator of a success in every success story that has the same principles base. Okay, and then when you say success, by you be successful in one specific thing or in one specific area, it doesn't mean that you are successful in everything you do. Some people are very successful in business, but maybe not successful in the relationship at home. Some people are successful in school, but they don't apply in the work, and then they're not successful in making money. Or people are not happy because they're not applying those principles. I believe that being successful in a business brings you joy. It does. But if you don't apply those same principles that you applied with the commitment that you did to the business to do so well in the things that you are doing in life, you might not succeed in life. What's the success in life, in my opinion, is being happy and content. Yeah. Because this applies to, doesn't matter how much money, how many zeros you have in your bank. If you are happy and content in an empty island, you know what I mean? Most likely you're going to have someone beside you to be happy, because by yourself is very difficult because we are social beings, right? But you are like Robinson. If you are happy and content, like if you are happy and content, you are grooving. If you are happy and content in Jamaica or in the moon, you are happy and content.
Yeah, I completely agree. Wherever you are on the social ladder, it all doesn't matter. If you can see a big smile on someone's face and see that they need that smile, it's not a fake smile. They're just enjoying life for what it is. That's what I personally respect the most, in generally speaking. So I couldn't agree more with what you're saying, Braulio. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And then look at this, how interesting this is. I know about that, but doesn't mean that I'm successful in everything I do, because maybe I'm not applying what I learn. I'm learning about it as I'm developing myself as a person. Yeah, and
it's not because
I start applying, and when the places that I apply those principles that brought me from zero to where I am in jiu-jitsu, the more I realize that applying those principles of commitment, of never giving up, of appreciation, of giving back without intentions of getting something back, like be, truth to yourself, integrity. You know what I mean? What is integrity? Integrity is whatever you say, you do when there's nobody watching. This is integrity. And that is only on you. It's nobody, because only when nobody's watching, is you and yourself and in your consciousness. And I do believe that consciousness is connected to the higher consciousness, that if you are true to it, the universe does conspire. The amount of the conspiration, how the universe conspires for me to be where I am today in the sport that I did, man, a lot of people going to say, look, a lot of people going to say, bro, I know what I did and then why I did, because I have my own consciousness. You know what I mean? So I believe that once you do it with the true intentions to do it right, even when you do it wrong, you learn and you just keep the same mindset.
Yeah. If
it
doesn't change,
happen.
Yeah, that's what matters. Yeah. That's beautiful.
It's very interesting.
Very well put. It's fantastic. So leading into that as well, what was for you as an athlete then, or maybe as a person, generally speaking, what was the biggest mental challenge you faced during your career, your competition career?
Belief. The belief was what got me stuck, you know? And I will put in practice, I will put in a metaphor in jiu-jitsu for you, okay? If you know, or if you learn something, okay, in jiu-jitsu, a technique or a system or a strategy, okay, if you don't apply in training, the result is going to be the same as if the person didn't learn that thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same. If there's a person who learned is not applying, I know even being in the class and I'm not applying, the result is equal. No change.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's on you if you want to apply or not. Oh, but it's different. I don't apply because I don't think I'm going to succeed. Okay, it's on you. Because we took about an average of 18 months to walk from birth, right? So it takes time, you know? But why did we that walk?
As they say, indeed. Yeah.
Why did we walk in the first place? Because we were inspired by others, everyone walking around me. I want to do the same. I'm going to try to stand up and I fall. And I try to use the sofa to keep me standing. And sometimes I let it go. I stay. Oh, yes, a victory. I lost again. Then you do your first steps. Then you walk. Then you walk a little faster. Then you jog. Then you run. Then you sprint. And then you sprint really fast. Then you can go to the bloody Olympics and put the studs so you can step. But everything is about step over step done in a different rate. Yeah. Right? So it takes time. It's not like something like that. And what makes you see a walk is because you believe that you can, because everyone can, so I can. Yeah. I will. And then you have to have the willpower. Have you noticed the kids when they try to walk, how much they want? There's a struggle. But there's that, man, I need to walk. And those kids who walk earlier, they do have a very good willpower. They go, I'm going to do it. They cry sometimes. And that's the thing. So you need to have the willpower, but the belief is paramount, because I was doing everything, but deep inside, I was doubting if I actually could or not do it. And that was a big hurdle. And the thing is, going back to applying things that you learn or not applying, the result is the same. But if you start applying, you're already improving. And if you have the commitment to carry on trying and try to improve, maybe not with this kind of guy, maybe fight against this technique, works with this kind of shape, and you keep doing it, and then you start understanding. And then when you start, okay, I can do it, right? Because it's not luck. Jiu-jitsu is not luck. It's a real thing. If you know it, you know it. It's not by accident that it happens, but it's truthful. But everything that's truthful takes time, because everything that comes fast goes fast. So jiu-jitsu, I wanted to be good in jiu-jitsu next year, or maybe the end of the month. 6 months, I want to be already. Dude, you do it, but until you understand, it takes time, because you're not only dealing with your own body manipulation, how you move or how you apply the technique, but at the same time, you're juggling with the counters and attacks of my opponent at the same time. So, of course, you need to know about how to do yourself. You need to know how to do the technique when the person is just there. Then I need to do a technique with a person that doesn't want to be there. Yeah. And then how the person can do something against me at the same time. So there are levels and levels and levels that makes you understand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you're doing in competition is a different ball, because some people do really well in training, but they not so much do so well in competition because of the belief. Yeah. The belief is a key factor to make all this machine work. And this can be translated to anything you do. You know what I mean? If you don't believe, let's say a relationship with your wife, if you don't believe that this is going to work, you're never going to put your full in, because the belief will stop you. If you don't believe that your partner loves you, how can you give yourself all in without getting hurt?
I find it very interesting, because you're a very analytical mind. You studied product engineering. It seems like
it helped me.
Yeah, it seems like you apply that analytical mindset, because product engineering, you don't build a rocket and fly. No, you build it in stages. You
back engineering everything and start base strong.
And then you start with a test, and then another test, and then that's how you reach orbit. And so I couldn't agree more, but I find it very
exactly. It's very interesting, because I'm trying to connect to understand how the hell did I get there?
Yeah, exactly.
You get it. I'm very introspective, analytical to myself too. Yeah. I go like, God, what are the odds? Flipping heck. Remember that kid? I was looking at my picture, flipping heck, when I was going to get my award of Hall of Fame in Vegas for the ADCC. I was like, no way. That kid Look at him. He don't even have a six pack of. I see that. He don't even have a six pack when I was 16. No biceps, skinny, lanky. How the hell this kid became this? Flipping heck. But he happened, right? And I don't. You know, I'm not the strongest of all of them. I'm not the most skillful of all of them. It's just that I understood myself within and applied on the right time with the belief there was a change. Because going back, sorry, I have a little ADHD, so I go up in circles. But the belief, right? I knowing something and applying, you are improving. But when you're applying with the belief, mate, you know, it's another monster. It's another monster, you know, because you're gonna have that time. You're gonna have that time, the specific second that you need to do something. If you go like, pass the time, it's gone. The opportunity is gone. So you need to know what you're doing, but you need to go with belief. Honestly, there are things that people do in competition that's not even 100% correct perfectly, but they go with so much belief that end up working in the end. You know what I mean? Like Roger Gracie, he believes that no one can tap him. No one, that he will smash everyone. He has the truly belief that, hey, you go there, the guy gets close, cannot tap him, and he just become another monster, you know? That's what it is. So in that I struggled to get it because I was always tough, because the way that I was training was building myself. I was getting strong. I was doing the techniques. I was making into work in a good level. But every time that I was competing in a higher level, I used to have a little block that was like, man, but does this gonna work at that level? I don't know. And then I have to try to see. And then they believe was something that was later in my career that I start having it. I remember talking to Carlos Gracie Jr. Before competition. I go, he goes, hey, how you feeling? I said, I'm feeling good, but you know what? There's gonna be that guy in my category. And he goes, Braulio, who is going to pass your guard? Who? You know what I mean? Who is gonna beat you? You know what I mean? So I go, flip leg. Carlos Gracie Jr. is believing in me. He's Gracie. And I am not believing myself. Flipping egg. Wake up, brother. I go, you know what? You're right. Yeah. And I go, yeah, who are they to come and beat me? And then, right? And then you go back like, oh, let's go with belief. Because, man, if I have someone of that caliber believing in me, well, why am I not believing myself?
Well, yeah, if that doesn't, then who? Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So then I start changing my mind towards that direction. Into the goal of try to believe more in myself. And belief comes for a success of execution as well. Right? You need to come. We have a big laboratory, which is our gym, our academy where we train. That place, you're always going to have your second chance for the rest of your lives. You know, we're here to improve ourselves, help the crew improve so it becomes a bigger challenge for you. And then this, we're talking about competition, right? But this applies for all kind of levels, all kind of reason why you train jiu-jitsu. Because some people don't want to be a competitor like me. Some people just want to go there and socialize. Some people want to go there and just do a workout. Some people want to go there just so he can learn how to defend themselves, just in case he's being approached on the street and know how to do it. But that brings up the same kind of results, but for different reasons. You know, some people come to maybe just to support a member of a family because believes that they can do, and you know what, I'm going to give my support, and then they start reaping the benefits out of jiu-jitsu because they start experiencing it. And all comes down to show up, do what you can to take advantage of the best possible present moment, because it's all about the present. right? That's what I love jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is you have to be present. You cannot be thinking about your problems. You cannot be thinking about, oh my God, man, that bill to pay, oh, tap. You know what I mean? Oh, I argue with my fiance, my girlfriend, tap.
Yeah.
You need to be me present right now because something's happening now. I need to act now and I need to adjust now.
Yeah.
The opportunity is happening now. I need to be in the game.
Yeah,
and that itself, in the moment, and that itself makes you is a part of a therapy because you're no longer thinking about
for sure.
You know what I mean?
I always jokingly, I couldn't agree. I always jokingly say I'm here for my therapy session, especially when I begun with jiu-jitsu. So I'm here for my Freudian session.
And you end up exercising. You learn something new. You are getting inspired. You know what I mean? You are socializing. You are becoming a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
And so many things, man, like you learn so much within jiu-jitsu. And I said, my pole of direction was competition. But then I was reaping the results that allowed me to see all this, what we're speaking, and I apply in life, you know, especially we always hear a lot, you know, be comfortable on uncomfortable situation, right? Like someone gets you past your guard, you're on the side control, pressure. What do? If you panic, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna get out. If you try to just disappear out of there, it's not gonna happen. You need to understand and accept, damn, I'm in a shit position right now. So I need to accept. What I can do is let's not get this thing worse. Let's not let this guy to progress more. You know, let's try to, okay, what is out there that he can do? What's his next move? Can I block his next move at least? I'm already in shit. Can I stop this guy worse? That's the first mentality, you know? And that is applying everything, you know? Because look, you fear the unknown.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Oh, the image is freezing. Are you still there, Braulio?
Panic is where things goes bad. You know, you are in this situation, any situation you got into panic, you're going to be less chances to succeed to get out of there. You know, maybe you're not going to get out, but you're going to have less chances if you panic.
Yeah.
You know, so you need to control yourself. Accept that you're in a bad situation. Don't let the problem get worse just because you end up there.
Yeah.
Oh, I end up in a bad situation. No, I don't want to be here. Don't want to be here. Gone.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's the mentality that I was learning and applying. And not to mention that the relationship that you create in a group is very easy to find the kind of person they are. You know, people who last in jiu-jitsu, they are easier to trust them because you're going to have the history of that period that they are in the academy. You're going to see when the person is winning and how he's reacting. You're going to see how this person, when they lost, how he reacts.
Oh, you're
going to see how people...
Yeah. You get a
you know what I mean? You're gonna see,
study. Yeah, exactly.
You can see that. And then you will you start being elevated, dragged through the kind of people that you like feel happy around. You know, like for example, when people can tap you at any time, how he's gonna react. If they extend your arm, I don't want to tap. How he's gonna? Is he gonna just rip it off?
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to get it out? Is he, you know, what I don't want to tap, what the guy is going to do? Then you start to see the levels of the trust that I can have on the silent way. You know, that guy, he could rip my arm off, but he didn't. But he knows he could.
Unspoken trust, as it were.
Unspoken trust, you know. And then when you are a bully, and you jump into the jiu-jitsu, you either humble yourself down or you get out, or you don't want to be there.
Yeah, there's always a bigger bully in jiu-jitsu. Always.
Right? So, and in those guys, you see, if the bigger bully in the jiu-jitsu, they're never going to be going out of the mats to do things together. You know, you're gonna be you kind of distance yourself. You
Yeah.
actually wanna avoid even training with them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you wanna be the guy that you are free to uh, put yourself out there for a challenge, and also trusting that I will be respected in terms of the guy's gonna respect the integrity of my body, and so do I. But if I do it to others, you cannot be expect that when the person has a chance, they're not gonna do to you neither. You know what I mean?
Of course, you get what you give, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
And
that is
yeah,
so
it's
many
it's
lessons.
also one of the beauties of the sport of jiu-jitsu that I find is that if you're on the mat, it doesn't matter whether you're rich, you're poor, you're black, you're white. The belt level doesn't really matter. If you're just
It's you.
yeah,
It's yourself.
yeah, and if you're being nice, well, the black belt will play nice with the white belt. But if you know, it's exactly so. It harks back to what you were saying as well as being truthful to yourself, of course.
Exactly that. Exactly that. And then when you like there are in the classes, so how many times there are people at the same time, someone that just lost the job yesterday, training with someone that's super successful and influential people in the world, and you see all the spectrum. You see Muslim training with Christians, we see like a black training with white, you know, men training with women, and they all leveled through who they are via jiu-jitsu. So it's an amazing community. It's an amazing community. And when you are training with someone and you show your respect, you try to help them, you try to kind of learn from them, or may help them to become a little better than them. Man, this is valuable. This is a big value. This is like respect. If there's someone that you're gonna trust, that you're gonna be able to open up to themselves within jiu-jitsu. And you see that many times you see those people connecting and they start helping each other outside as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Because those are the kind of people that shows the sign that, you know what, this is a kind of good guy. Look at this guy. He's a nice guy. I like to be around this guy. Look, I feel I can be vulnerable and I can be trust that he's not gonna take advantage of me. And then you learn. You know, it's a very good shop front for you, for your personality.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. So segueing into that, for you, what was your toughest match you've had in your illustrious career? Because I can think of a few, but I'm not sure which one you will pick. Of course, champ.
When people say tough match, most people might relate to the one that you lost, right? But not necessarily.
Yeah,
right. I think the toughest match is I have many different tough match.
It could even be in the gym, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, like the toughest match in terms of like a equivalent stuff. I had many in the same peak level.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I think, look. So if it's so many was in the same peak, I could give you a few, but I'm gonna give you one.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you one that I believe my toughest match was. That was equivalent to the fight that I did against Jacare. Maybe Jacare was a very tough match, but I was so well prepared and my mental was so right there that it was tough physically. Tough, like, because I just came from a surgery on my spine where I got tetraplegic in the past, you know, and that was tough. But I'd like to pick this one because it was equivalent as tough for my level that I was in.
Yeah.
It was the first time that I won an IBJJF tournament as a blue belt.
Okay.
That was tough. You know, why it was tough? Because up until then, I have lost every single first fight in the IBJJF during 2 years, right? And then I used to do well in my state because I was the first generation anyway. So whoever comes into jiu-jitsu, that was already been training. I go competing in Rio. They are training with black belts. They training, competing all the time with people high level, and I get that, lost the first fight. Go back again 6 months later. Traveling on like a sprinter van, sleeping on the floor of the van, for 2 days traveling to get to Rio, spend a week there, let's compete. Lost in the first fight. And then go again, lost the first fight. Go again 4 times.
Wow.
Right? And then you go, damn, I won't stop. I won't stop because I know every time I'm losing, I'm learning something about it. First, I wasn't sure about the rules. I lost the points, all of them. But then I was improving. Even though I wasn't losing, I was improving. But then the Pan American Championships in 99, I was 18 years old. And I had the balls to tell, excuse me, to tell my dad, look, there's this tournament in Miami. He goes, excuse me? Yeah, in Miami. I said, you want to go for holiday? Because all my dream, I've always been going to America at the time. And I go like, no, but I really want to go there to compete. I said, bro, listen, look, don't you want to at least win one fight in the IBJJF before you actually commit to go to? I cannot afford to pay a ticket to Miami, I cannot afford to bring you there. So I work it out my way. I figured out my way. I was get help with sponsorships that was giving me a little piece here, a little piece there. And then I was selling t-shirts. I was selling, I created, I bought my mom made some t-shirts. I bought some prints, and then I sell to pay the tickets divided in 12 months, and I found the money to pay for the visa, and I got there to get my visa. It was neglected. I couldn't, not neglected, it was I didn't get a visa. Rejected. And then I go, oh my God, they start crying. I already had committed to buy the ticket because I already bought the ticket. At the time, I thought if you bought the ticket, it's a proof that you go and come back. I had no intentions of staying whatsoever. All I wanted to go there and compete and then try to win that fight and win again. But there was no many competitions. At the time, there was no many competitions on the IBJJF, So it's a time to test myself, and I'm feeling that I'm getting closer. So basically, it was a long story, but I managed to apply for the visa I got my visa 2 hours before departure, right? Imagine that week, my flight was on, when was it? Thursday. My flight was on, the flight was on Friday, and I got my visa at 12 o'clock p.m. on Friday afternoon. And I got the visa straight away to the airport by myself, 18 years old. I never, ever had left the country. I didn't speak a word of English. Got my gi. My dad gave me $150. I got $300 from a sponsorship. Kira is the name. Funny enough, is the name of my wife now, Kira. It's crazy. Anyway,
well,
you know what I mean? When I said about the conspiration of the universe, this is true. This is just a few examples. And then I remember that the only number that I had was from the federation in Rio de Janeiro for when I arrive in Miami to contact to figure out where. I don't have no hotel to stay. I was just going, And then with all these difficulties, I went to the weigh-ins on Friday. As soon as I arrived, straight to the weigh-in. I called the federation, got the address, went in, got there, waiting. So now where I'm staying, I hooked up with some friends. We stayed about 12 of us or 15 of us in one room, because I had only $450 to spend like 5 days, including food, hotel.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yes.
When I went to check in, one day of the hotel is $130. I go, flipping, I cannot stay here. So I managed to get a group of people where Paddy Pano had the room. So he was selling a space on his roof for $170. And you can stay the whole week. I said, game on, let's go. So I got in, and then came the day to the fight. My man, I already have been fighting against my dad. Not fighting, but like I had to have a very big argument that, I put a lot on the line. I put my ticket, paid the ticket, bought the ticket in installments. And man, I need at least to win that fight. Bro, I was freezing to death. I was scared. I was like, But I was like, you know what? I need to pass that fight. I just wanted to win that fight, man. If I win the fight, I'll be, and then I won that fight by one advantage. It was the longest 6 minutes in my fighting career, because I was like so close, everything so close, and then I won. Bro, I was so happy. I remember walking around the match, like, I did it. And that broke and then I won the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And that was a very big statement of, to don't give up and do what it takes, even all the difficulties of buying the tickets, the difficulties of rejecting visa, fight until the last minute.
Yeah.
I made it going there, and I managed to get it, and that was a big turn on my career. So it was tough. And that mentality brought to the same belief, was building my character and my self-belief that if you do it and go what it takes and go there, fight until the end, you can get it. It was the same mindset that I had to fight Jacare after being tetraplegic 1 year before, And so those are the two completely different spectrums of levels. But at the same time, in the Pan Ams in 1999, I was exchanging jiu-jitsu against people who were in the same level I was. So for me, the feeling of accomplishment was no different. I could never even touch a purple belt at the time, or a black belt, I couldn't even think about it. But for my level, that's where I was the champion.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy. Yeah. And that mentality brought me in different stages on the purple belt and the brown belt and the black belt. The mentality of coming here and try to live out of jiu-jitsu, that same mentality is being escalated to different levels.
You carry through in life. Yeah.
To the point that when I appeared this opportunity, like when I won the weight division absolute to the ADCC 2009, submitting everyone, the stars like Marcelo Garcia, André Galvão, Xande Ribeiro, Lovato Jr., the first inverted triangle in the finals of a big tournament, the first Estima lock that existed, which is like was baptized by my name, that me and my brother, we kind of developed together.
It's beautiful.
You know what I mean? And that brought me the opportunity to fight the super fight in 2011.
There you go.
In 2010, I went to visit my brother. On the way to visit him, I got to train a little bit of MMA, because in 2009, I was the grappler of the year. So what's next? MMA. So I went to train in MMA in the Red Roof House in Nottingham, and I trained there with Andre Wiener. I went to do a single leg. He tried to take me down. I didn't want to fall. Fell on my head. Boom. Paraplegic. Tetraplegic from that neck down. I go, oh my God, the fight against Jacare next year. My kid's just born. My God, my life is over. It was the biggest loss that I felt. That was the worst thing that ever happened to my life. It was when I got that feeling. I don't wish to no one. It's a feeling of you looking at yourself and you are dead. The body doesn't even look like it's your body.
Yeah.
If it doesn't feel, you don't feel zero. Yeah. Some people has the dead arm when you're sleeping overnight. Oh, I have no arms. I cannot feel my arm. You can feel. You can feel. I have a tiny bit, but you can still feel. When it's a zero, it's like someone poked my head outside of my body, and I look at it. I said, "Fuck, it's happened to me." Like when you lost something that you really care. Imagine, like, I don't know if you ever had that, but some people has, whoever's watching. Imagine like you have that a set of memories on the camera, and suddenly you delete it by accident. You go. You cannot go back in time. You cannot go back to those pictures. You lost those pictures. You lost all those the registration of those moments. Like that same feeling, but for my life, I lost. I cannot be the dad that I've always wanted to be. I cannot pick up my kids and throw in the air. That's my dream. I've always wanted to do that. And then at the same time, I was thinking, fuck, the fight against Jacare is in 1 year time. How the hell that's not happening to me? And then the same mentality came to when I went to try to find the answers for my neck surgery. I went to 4 different doctors, and 4 different doctors said, no, you can't. But I never give up. Like when I was losing the jiu-jitsu match, I never give up. So the same mentality brought into it until the 5th one said, you know what? I can do too. I put a rugby player back in the league, because the problem for myself was I had 2 prolapse discs, And that's when it's true, when it fused with the technology that they had at the time, it is end the career. You know, the guy said, man, you're never going to be an athlete anymore.
No.
If you want to be an athlete, you're going to be a dart player, because no even golf you can play. I said, man, is the world falling? Oh my God. So what do I do? Do I want to blame the world, or do I try to finance? I tried finance. So I found on the 5th try. It's very similar to when I found the answer on jiu-jitsu, my blue belt, and the first main belt of our sport on the 5th fight. So I will carry on. And if I had lost, I would be fighting until I cannot fight anymore to try to win the fight. You know? So that mentality came in, and then I managed to find a surgeon 6 months after the injury. Okay, I got paralyzed for few hours, and then I started walking, but not my left arm. And then I stayed 24 hours without moving. And then 6 months later, I got the surgery booked for February 4th, 2011. And up until then, I never had one advantage in Jacaré. I never even scored a point on him. I lost to him 4 times. Again, look, 4 times against shit. Interesting. 4 on the 5th. It's weird, eh? And then I lost to him 4 times. I said, oh, now this time I don't care. I had a surgery 8 months before the fight. So that means 2 months without moving, 2 months of rehab to be able to move. And I had 4 months to train to fight against the biggest my biggest rival that I ever had, the strongest guy that I ever fought, the guy that I could even do anything. And I had to fight, and I was fighting Nottingham in the same area that I hurt my neck, in front of all my students, because I've already been here since 2002. And then I went there. We had a 30 minutes fight. Oh my God, what a war. And I ended up winning. So impossible is nothing.
Impossible doesn't exist. Yeah. It's beautiful. Wow.
But the mentality is similar. Of everything in different world, different spectrum. But that's what I was very fortunate through my career to identify and apply. Because you can do something right, something with belief. It's the same thing. Intentions, acts with belief.
Very well put. Very well put. What would the one piece of advice be that you would give to beginners in BJJ that want to compete professionally?
Yeah. So one thing that I would give, that at least for my own personal experience, is the patience. Right? Because as I said, I'm not a patience person naturally. With my ADHD, I'm not high-level ADHD, but I have a little bit of it, which I think is a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's actually a trait, you know. But I'm always like,
it now can actually help you a lot, ADHD.
Yeah. Like, so I've never been very patient all the time. I'm not naturally born a patient person. I want to do something now. I want to achieve now. I want to be a champion now. I want to, let's do it. And I had to deal with that patience, you know, and the patience in many different factors is a patience with yourself, that sometimes you're not going to get it right straight away. You just need to have the mindset of trying to understand, you know, how can you play a game if you don't understand the rule of the game, right? What's the principles of the what am I looking for here in the fight? You know, what's my purpose? What's the goal? Like, what do I need to do in order to achieve the goal? You know, sometimes we have a very natural instinct of focus on the destination. And that's why we hear a lot. Guys, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So that shows what? Patience. Calm down. Focus on now, here, presence, but acting with intentions of doing right. You know? And then you cannot expect that just because you learn something, that you know how to do something, that you're going to put in practice straight away against someone that doesn't want that to happen. So you need to keep trying and be patient with yourself. Don't rush, you know, because I heard this from my dad throughout all my life. The rush is the enemy of perfection. You know, Michelangelo, he didn't bloody do his art in about 3 days, mate. You know what I mean? If he did it in 3 days, it wouldn't be as good as what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's time. Like the Rolls Royce cars, they're not made in a week. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like, be patient, try to understand yourself, get your pace, and don't stop trying to be better than yesterday. You know, we say, like, if you are 1% better than yesterday, as soon you're going to be as good as you could be.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You know, and then don't compare yourself with anybody, because it's about your own growth.
Are you still there, champ? It fell out a bit.
You pass it on in your head, so you're improving to focus on be as good as you could possibly be, because you have your limitations, but sometimes you focus too much. I want to be better than that person. I want to be better than him, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you focus on your own growth of being better as you could be. And if you are as good as you could be, you reach your full potential, and that's it. If you as good as you could be is equivalent to be a world champion or not, you zero the game.
Oh no, absolutely. It's you versus you again. Yeah, it's
Exactly,
as it were. Yeah, and if you want to be someone else, that's ego talking. That's not you talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes you want to be better than that person, so you train to be that person, and one person that's way lower level than him go and beat you because you didn't know how to deal with that situation because you were focused on that specific person. You know what I mean? So try to be as well-rounded as possible. Put yourself in situations that you're not good at, because if you keep doing only what you're good at, you're gonna have a limit to deal with people that cannot deal with that situation, that kind of fight that you have, until you find someone that is very good against that, and then you stuck on the ball. You don't have another thing to use as a strategy to, you know what I mean? Because it's not only I don't necessarily fight against the A game of the person. I try to bring the fight to what I'm good at.
Yeah,
and and sometimes if the person is equally as good or even better than me on that subject, I fight the fight a little off-centered. So he doesn't fight his game.
Yeah.
If I can fight his B game, I'm winning.
Yeah.
So if I have the weapons that I can mix and match, so he never fights what he's good at, I'm always going to be ahead.
Yeah.
That's using the head instead of just going what you know. So put yourself in situations. Go to train to try to become better. Don't go to train just to beat others. Because if you go there with the intentions just to beat others, you're going to be a very tough there, but you're not going to be well-rounded. Try to use the moment that you spend of your life. Everyone has 24 hours a day. Everyone, me, you, and everyone here is watching. Go to the mat and try to make the most useful of that time that you're in the mat in order for you to improve. And if you can help others on that moment to improve as well, help them when you have the chance. Give a little time to someone else to improve. If you train jiu-jitsu for 2 months, you know more jiu-jitsu than the person that will just walk in the match today. Yeah. You know what I mean? So is it by helping each other, you will improve too. And this is one thing that I was doing it, and I noticed that helped my understanding and made me who I am in jiu-jitsu, was because when I came here as a brown belt, I was using that moment that I was in my match to make the best class as possible for whoever was there. I was trying to show everything that I knew with the intentions to make them be as good as, understand what I'm talking about. And by doing that, I realized then later stage that I can do even better than what I was doing, because I had the intention to understand.
Yeah,
it's a cycle.
Yeah,
it's a seminal. That all comes down. It comes down to the same principles, that I was talking about, that brought me to where I was in jiu-jitsu. And now I am trying to apply those in as many areas as possible, and that is making me a better person and having a happy life around.
Yeah, no, it's I love how you keep that timeline in there as well, because you show in your own very eloquent way how jiu-jitsu fits in life. whether you're talking ethics, whether you're talking morals, which nowadays I find very important because we seem to have
very rare.
Exactly. And also when you look at the sport or the martial arts or whatever it is you want people call it nowadays, it's all very flashy and prosaic, and you bring it back to those fundamental truths almost in an Occam's razor perspective, that you say, like, if you can do it simple, don't make it hard, and look at yourself first. Maybe it's not, it can't not be bad. Yeah, it can only happen. Yeah, yeah. Find a very wise advice. It's pertinent. Let me put it that way.
Thank you. Because everything, like every complexity, comes from a basic that became complex with time. You know what I mean? So if you reverse engineering, like you said about the rocket, look how complex is a rocket, like to work. But look how many times we tried, it didn't work. Look how many, go back down, we come back to the basic fundamental physics. That's what we are, our law of physics that we live by, right? And that comes down to all the basics. And the more the basics become more solid, the more you can add complexity. Because if a lot of people think, oh man, black belt is always 5 steps ahead. Listen, they might be 5 steps ahead, I'll say 3 usually. But by being 3 steps ahead doesn't mean that is a prediction what's going to happen on the third. It's impossible to predict what's going to happen on the third. Yeah. Because you don't know how the person is going to react, because they can react correctly, they can react wrongly, or don't react. So you cannot predict. You can have an idea of what you bring at you, and then you're being prepared for the worst and take advantage of the best opportunity to do that. You cannot, this is what is stepping ahead, but every step ahead is like being prepared for the worst, about the movement that I'm going to do right now. Example, look, the present moment that you are fighting, something just happened. I'm here, someone pulled guard or whatever, something just happened. So I need to deal with that and act now, take advantage of what had just happened and try to do the right thing, prepare yourself for the worst. Yeah. And with that, you lead the next step. It's always take advantage of that little thing, that a little moment just happened. Something happened. Okay, how I deal with that? Have the intention to do it right and be prepared for the worst. And that's it. Yeah. And then you carry on. Of course, the more knowledge you have, the more you'll be able to deal with it.
It becomes holistic, right? The more knowledge, like a language, like anything. Yeah, absolutely.
Like a language, exactly. Yeah. When I came here, the language, the same development of the language for me is the same development of learning jiu-jitsu. The same principle.
Although I have to say, I'm very happy you haven't put on a flat-out Birmingham accent yet.
All right, mate. It's great. It's great, isn't it? It's great dancer.
I have family that talks like that, mate.
Bro, Ben, imagine a Brazilian, 22 years old, never spoke any English, landed in Birmingham. Bro, it was 3 months, like alienated. I remember I had headaches. Because you talk to people, you don't understand a word. You go to home, there's a radio, I cannot understand a word. Put the TV, I cannot understand a word. There's no Brazilians around Birmingham. Flipping, like it was 3 months of a challenge, but it's possible. Check this out. I did study English on the school average, like within the school as a subject, right? In Brazil, we used to do a vestibular, which is you do a test to be able to get into the university. I started learning car, house, this kind of thing. Good morning, right? Once a week when I was 12 years old. And then by the time I was 16, it was English. I was so bad in English. So bad that by the time that I applied to do the university, I chose Spanish instead. That's how bad I was, right? I couldn't, as a hot shit doggy, I didn't know what could or would word means. Zero communication. Yeah, McDonald's was okay. Yeah. I knew McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, even hamburger, I used to say wrong. So I studied that amount of time without interest because I wasn't good at it. It's okay, it's okay. And was 6 years of English, and I didn't learn anything. I came here within 3 months, I was communicating. 6 months, I was talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah, completely agree. I had the same with French. They tried to force me into French school. And the French teacher was like, "You're English and you don't speak French. This is never going to work." And then it never worked. And then I lived in Paris for 6 months, a year or something. And I spoke French miraculously.
Exactly.
It happened.
Exactly. And then, but I'm sure that you put yourself out there.
Sure.
Because if you stay speaking to everyone in English or stay with your English community, you wouldn't be speaking as good as now. And that's what a lot happens. A lot of Brazilians go to America and they stay with the community of Brazil and they don't speak for 3 years. 3 years. Oh, no, it's too hard. But the thing is, if it's possible, just you need to go through the struggle of that frustration that you can't, but you're trying to.
Yeah.
Have the intentions to live. You know, it comes down to the same thing. The intentions of figuring out.
Yeah.
Trying to. You need to act with intentions of figuring out, and then you're going to get frustrated because you won't get it, because you don't come fast. But every day you improve a little word. You see a word. Just like you see in the traffic light, and it says so many cars on the motorway, so many cars coming, but your car is a Volkswagen, and you see, oh, a Volkswagen, oh, a Volkswagen, a Volkswagen, you know, and then your dad has buy a new car, or your friend has a new car, and you go to the motorway, you start, oh man, look, that car, you start to recognize because it's there now.
Yeah.
It's like languages.
Yeah.
That's how it's language. I said, the guy said that word. I said, what that word? Outside? Oh. And then you start connecting, but you need to put yourself out there, you know, and it's not easy.
It's like jiu-jitsu as well.
It's like everything in life.
It's yeah. Once you do it, you connect the dots, as it were. Yeah.
Exactly. That's it's interesting, right? As old, you get more philosophical, but it's an interesting thing.
Sure. And on philosophy, how would you, Braulio, like to be remembered in the world of jiu-jitsu as an athlete, as a person?
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that I remember, one day I was going to compete in a local tournament, and I was a white belt 3 stripes. And I was competing. I was pretty good in a white belt level. And there was this blue belt that had been gone to compete at the IBJJF in the Worlds, and he got 3rd.
Okay.
Right. And then there was this tournament that he was a star. It was a blue belt, but was a star of a state. Man, the arrogance of him walking and how he was treating others just because he been there. I look at my friend and said, man, you know what? If one day I become something, I want to show to the world that you don't need to treat people like that just because you want something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you're good in something, doesn't mean that you're a better person than anybody. It's just because you're doing that thing better than anybody, because you're putting time into it. So it doesn't mean that you should mistreat people just because you're good at something, you know? Because everyone has their own virtues, everyone has their own battles, and also their own wins in their lives, you know? And that was a thing, you know, like the legacy of humbleness, that is, you can achieve anything, you know, that if you are willing to put the time into it, you can reach anything in life. I wish at least the moment that my mind is now, I wish I could. I don't even need to be remembered, to be honest. I don't mind that. You know, all I wanted to have, I don't care if I help someone and someone achieved whatever, I don't care if they're gonna talk about me. But I just wanted him to appreciate that was help of someone, do the same to others.
Oh, for sure. If I do charity, I do it privately. I don't do it
exactly. You don't want to be showing people, oh, look, I'm helping this guy. One thing that gets me the ick, people filming them fucking showing, giving. Oh, man, come on.
Yeah.
Really? You're getting this for likes, or because you really have the intention to help the person, or is the intention of the likes? And the intention comes into place again.
Absolutely.
And the universe knows that.
And the universe knows, and it also dictates that they're very superficial, that they have zero introspective values, or they would never.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, absolutely.
That's the thing. So I would like to be remembered someone that helped the humanity. This would be like the high end. Imagine if this happened, huh? Oh my God! Imagine. I would like to help the people to believe that by acting with the intentions to do it right, they can achieve anything as long as they pursue with determination. If a few principles that I will make a book. If I'm alive, I will make a book.
You should. And, you really should.
I want to.
You can use this conversation, and you can just like chapter it, and then start putting it into a book. Yeah, it could be a scrapbook basic.
I'll be someone that is the proof that you can get out of any situation and reach success. And I want to put out there the steps that I have been doing researches about my history and the histories of other people who achieved. It doesn't matter where they came from. You see like the Amazon start with a little garage. Look where it is now. It's saying it's possible, but a lot of people don't believe.
Yeah.
It's that things. I would like to be remembered someone that explained in a way that as good as possible that anyone can achieve success in anything. When I say success, it's not fame. A lot of people associate success with fame. Success is you're doing something really well.
Yeah.
Right? And you're doing life really well. I want people to have that. You know what? He inspired me to be a better person. And today, look, helping others, and then my environment is making me happy because I heard one thing that Master Carlos Gracies Jr. sent me the other day. Life is good when you're happy, and it's even better when people are happy because of something that you did. Even if it wasn't necessarily direct, but even if it was a reflection of a snowball.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's when you live heaven on earth.
Yeah. That's a real legacy.
That is beyond me. I don't care if his money has been said. What I care is whatever is having this experience of this period that we are alive. That is an amazing thing, right? We breathe, we look, we hear, we talk, we socialize, we have feelings. Man, you know what I mean? I want people to have the best of this experience in their lifetime.
Yeah,
in the best possible, the best way as possible during the present journey. And if I can contribute somehow that they can have an amazing experience, because even when you don't succeed, it's an amazing experience because you get frustrated. You go, man, but then you live life,
If you didn't climb the top of the mountain and you leave with a smile on your face, in my opinion, you've still achieved something. That's
what it is. So if I could be remember or not, but if I could contribute, that's the main thing. Yeah. I want to be a contribution.
Yeah, that's
not remembered. I don't care.
Again, I'm going to keep using the word eloquent because you'd almost think you'd studied literature.
I haven't, but I think I lived through it.
Yeah. So I had our followers on X put 2 questions up for you.
Okay.
So we have about 1,000 followers that are actively engaged in the community with grappling, of course. And the 2 questions were, can you share a good story about training with Roger Gracie? So must quite a few stories there, I presume.
There's always good stories, but I think this is a funny one. It's good, and another not necessarily that. I don't know if I recommend. But we did it. That was a good story. This is a fun story. Anyway, you see why. basically, when I just came here from UK, that was a very coincidence that Roger was going to be here. Because remember, I was getting my visa, not sure. And no, sorry, this was America. Forget about it. Because it seemed like an obstacle. Excuse me? We cut this and go back again. Someone's coming up.
No problem.
So one of the stories of Roger Gracie was like when I found out that I was coming to the UK, and I remember, like I said, I think Roger has something to do with London. Let me call him. I called him 1 week before. I said, hey, Roger, hey, Braulio, what's up? I said, Roger, look, I'm going to go to London next week. And I would like to know if you have any connections there, because I think you've been there, right? So, Braulio, I am boarding right now to London. I said, what? No way. I wasn't expecting. So basically, now I'm going to be seeing Roger in 1 week time, and I'm going to have my best training partner during those 2 months. Oh my God, that's like just became even better, right? So we met, and they go, brother, let's train. Let's go. So I'm like that. We always been tough training against each other since blue belts, you know, and because I used to play slightly different than people in Rio, because I didn't have much of a reference of a game plan, you know. And then I was like, okay, let's train. Let's go. Let's get better. And then we woke up, I slept at his house, and we walked to the gym, and we put our gears, and I started warming up. You know, I always give him the lead through his respect, you know, Roger Gracie, you know, already champion, the big prospect in jiu-jitsu. And he goes, okay, brother, I was well known for triangles. I did do a lot of triangle chokes. And I was like one of my trademarks at the time. And he goes, all right, let's train. I said, go. So what are we doing? He goes, oh, brother, put me in this triangle. I said, what? I mean, getting close to the triangle? No. Fully on. I said, come on, Roger. Now in my mind, come on. Now he's taking me for nothing, right? Okay, forget about it. Okay, let's do it. Okay. So I respect him a lot. So I put in the triangle. I didn't go like fully on, but he starts escaping. And then, okay, now I'm going to fully on. I'm going to escape my triangle. Come on, it's my trademark. I'm going to tap you. He escaped. I said, oh, okay. And then comes down to the mentality as well. This is important, right? He came from him, that train starts from it. I say, all right, so now you put me on the triangle too. And I'm already flipping, like, how the hell going to skip that thing? And then Roger was a guard player at the time as well. And okay, go on then. My turn. Let's be fair. I want to do it too.
Let's go.
And then I escaped. Okay, in my mind, okay, cool. 1-1 with our competitive, like, kind of mindset. Okay, 1-1. Now we're gonna train. Okay, cool, let's go. And he goes, do it again. I said, no, come on. When he said, do it again, I already knew that I would have to be in the triangle again, regardless. That's how I fast off sleeping. Like, here we go again. You know what? It's going to be the last one. So I'm going to put fully on 110%, because then I tap him, and then he tap me, and then he go train. I pull 100%. Damn, Roger escaped. And I go, okay, now come on. Do your me again. And then I go, fuck, let's go on. Bro, my eye came back. And I escaped as well. So he falls on one side, I fall on one side. I look at him. It was just like getting close to Chris. He goes, let's go home. Okay, let's go home. And then we go home. And that was the training. You know, it was, I'm 2 times on his triangle, 2 times in the triangle. Man, the next morning, we wake up. I look at myself in the mirror. I had spotted dots of blood spot on my eye. And I look at him the same. And he look at each other and go, let's not ever do this again, please. I go, no. Since then, we never did triangle specific training. But we know that if the shit hit the fan, we can escape.
Yeah.
So I never tapped in the triangle ever since then in the competition.
Wow.
neither him.
Yeah, neither. Yeah.
So that was a story.
That's a beautiful story. Very beautiful.
A crazy one.
Crazy one.
Oh man, so good. But look how good the mentality Roger had, right? He said, "You know what? Let's train with this guy. Let's go, brother. Put me in your best position."
Yeah, exactly.
It came from him. It will never come from me.
No.
But because he did, I said, I want to do it again as well.
Yeah.
So then,
yeah, it reminded me of Hickson's attitude. Like, let's start with the worst positions. Yeah. What are the hidden, invisible aspects of setting up the back triangle?
okay. So, first of all, for you to be able to attack from the back, you need to know how to keep someone in the back without any possibility from him start escaping. If someone starts escaping, he's getting closer to his goal, which is escaping from the back. I like to say that because control before submission is very important, you know, and manipulation of the body, of my body and his body, okay? Because a lot of people get to the mount, once already go for the submission, but cannot keep the person in the mount. How can you think about submission? The same thing in the close guard. I would love to do a number from the close guard, but can you keep the guy on the close guard, regardless if he try to pass or not? How can you think about the submission? So the back is the same. So I need to keep the person in the back. And of course, you use like combo attacks so to get my opponent off guard. If I go straight to the point, there will be always a reaction against. It's like in boxing. If I have a jab and I always lose the jab, it's not going to be defended. Usually, it's after a fake or after a setup that you hit the big one. If you go straight to the point, it's always going to have a reaction against, because jiu-jitsu is a conflict of interest. It's an argument happening with your body. Whatever I want to do, my opponent doesn't want to do. So I need to know how to keep the guy in a certain position, okay? But one of the main things is keep the shoulder level below my chest and keep him there so he cannot raise up on me, because when I have the guy here, I cannot pass my leg over with effectivity. So I need to make sure that he's below my chest line, controlling the hands against his body so I can step over and always compress the limbs against his body. Remember, if you want to do a bench press, the hardest time of the bench press when it's close to here. So you cannot push. But when it's here, it's okay. So I want to make my opponent not able to use the strength that he has, so he cannot bench press me or bench press my arm. Push the arm, I cannot move. Push my leg, I cannot move. Move with the hips. So I need to keep the shoulder line before, under the chest, and try to compress his hands against his pecs so he cannot circle out. So when he's like that, then you compress above and they start going around, and then pull the elbow afterwards with the bringing the guy's shoulders close as possible to his neck with my leg in the other side. Now, it's very hard to explain this in words because there's so many things happening. But if you say shoulder line below the pecs, compress the hands under so he cannot move the arms whenever they want, and even when the leg goes over, compress, and slide towards the triangle is the hidden part that to be able to apply with the powerful and with productivity.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly the answer they were looking for as well, because anyone that asks this question will certainly does know what they're talking about, at least a bit. But I find it very interesting that you indeed first put the position and you actually are creating the space for you to set it up. That's hearing from this.
If you're fighting to keep someone on the back, you're not going to be able to tap him.
Yeah.
Because you're using your power and your angles to keep the guy there.
Yeah.
You need to keep the guy there, safe. He cannot start escaping while you're doing it, you know? And the chokes, set up the chokes, the guy defend the choke, you trap the hand, they step over, this kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you make it look simple, but but yeah, no, for sure. Right, fantastic, man, Braulio. Thank you for joining us on this.
Man, my pleasure, Ben. It's been great talking to you. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope whoever's watching enjoy and took something out of it. It's like I do in seminars, you know, when I teach seminars, I don't expect everyone gets everything that I teach at the seminar. But when you get the principles and apply however you want, you can, That's the secret. Maybe, pick a little points that, okay, that's how relate to this, and try to apply, because not applying, the result is the same if the person never learned or heard on anything.
Oh, no.
Try is the intentions of make it work. And then when you start doing once, twice, save you all the time, and then start doing more often, then you start believing. And then when you do it with the fully believe, with your own intentions, everything that we spoke today in jiu-jitsu or outside, you become a better version of yourself for sure.
Yeah, fantastic, man. Fantastic. And I also love what you're doing recently with ADCC, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, I'll be there now on Friday. I'm gonna be broadcasting there. ADCC, Rodolfo Vieira's coming back. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be Braga Neto is fighting, Ana Vieira is fighting, Lucas Valente is fighting. It's gonna be an amazing card. So make sure you guys tune in. The competition will be on Sunday, in direct from Rio. It's gonna be broadcast on the tx7.com. So I'll see you guys there.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Braulio. We'll definitely
thank you very much.
I'll make sure to check that out on the followers as well. I'll put in a link and everything for sure.
Nice song. Thank you, Ben, for your time.